My name is Robert Ernesto Walsh. I'm Abogado Ernesto from the Abogado Ernesto Law Group. Wanted to tell you a little bit about who I am, where I'm from, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Pops, Patrick James Walsh, was a New York City Irishman. His grandfather came over from Ireland on a boat, and he was a smoke eater in the city. One of the first firemen back when they didn't have the gas masks and the great equipment that they got these days. He was a merchant marine, a longshoreman. He got into that after his start in the Navy. He lied about his age. He was too young to join the Navy, but he got in anyway because he wanted to see the world. He worked his way up to a chief engineer. He was very secure in who he was and what he was doing. There was no question about that. My mom grew up in Bolivia. Her family comes from Bolivia, South America. My mom's a very intelligent, powerful woman. She's a go-getter, wheeler, and dealer. She moved her way up in her country very rapidly. At the age of 22, she was an assistant to the president of her country. And she used her connections to get herself a visa to the United States. Started out working in some of the sweatshops in New York, and also waiting tables. She met my father waiting tables. He just kept coming back to get to know her. Growing up in South Houston, she cleaned houses, she did catering, she did any number of different things. Growing up, I would regularly accompany her while she went out cleaning offices or houses, and I'd do my part. I'd be doing the vacuuming, or I'd go and empty out the trash cans. Taught me a number of things. First of all, it taught me that there isn't any work that isn't good work. When you need to get somewhere in life, you do what it takes. You do whatever it takes. And there isn't anything that's below surviving. Yeah, having a last name of Walsh and having those Irish roots, while at the same time having a Bolivian mother and that side of the family with South American roots, wasn't unique to me or all my cousins and everyone that I was around. That's just the way it was. On my mom's side, when my aunts and uncles would get over, they'd be speaking in Spanish, telling all those stories that are just different than the American stories. And he knew that us speaking English was a big part of that. So his rule was that there was no Spanish in the house. And so when he wasn't there, my mom would speak Spanish to aunts and uncles and everything else, but when he was there, we'd speak English. Well, you know, growing up in Texas and speaking English without an accent, by and large, most people knew me as Bob Walsh. I was a white boy. I didn't have any Latino problems. It was different from my cousins. They were born and grew a number of years up in Bolivia, so their first language was Spanish. They learned English and spoke English with an accent. For them, they lived in a different world. Oh, we went with Mom to Bolivia when we were young. We went several times throughout my youth to see Mom's home country. It was an incredible experience. It was an incredible experience. It was very eye-opening to see how different people lived. But when we went to Bolivia, we realized the mansion that we were living in back home. That's why I traveled to Bolivia during law school. I took a year off of school and wanted to get better at my Spanish, get to know more about my culture, and during that time I met my wife. That was 14 years ago. I have 3 children, 2 of which were born in Bolivia. That was my first experience with immigration law, was doing the paperwork for my wife. I was in law school. I got into law school on a scholarship, and I figured I could do it. I learned the hard way that actually immigration law happens to be one of the more complicated areas of law that you can study. And so there's a number of things that aren't in the paperwork, that are in black and white, that'll make the difference as to whether your process goes quickly, whether it takes a long time. And so these days when I'm representing families, and particularly fiancés and the newer relationship, you know, I know what that feels like, to have your partner on the other side of the world and to want to get together, to need this immigration attorney to get it done right and quickly. But these days, I feel good about being able to do that for families, being able to do that for couples, to get it done the right way, quickly, and with some sense of security. And one of the individuals that I'm most honored to work with is Attorney Robert Shakir. Attorney Shakir has had a great legal career. He's worked with migrant farm workers. He was in immigration when I was in high school. As a matter of fact, Attorney Shakir was teaching the asylum clinic at DU Law School while I was at DU. Jerry Lopez is a great person. Jerry made partner this year. I was very honored to make him partner, very honored that that was something that Jerry was into. Jerry Lopez comes from the immigrant community. He knows our clients. Attorney Brian Clark has been with the firm now for 2 years. Brian is an excellent attorney. He's one of the best analytical legal writers that I've worked with over the years, by far. He's very quick to pick up on new legal concepts, and that's very important these days when the law is changing so rapidly. He's been involved with helping other practitioners interpret complicated areas of analytical arguments. We got a great team, and if it was any one of my family members, I'd feel grateful to know that they're in the secure hands of the team that I'm working with today. So there you have it. There you go. A little bit about me, where I'm from, why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm glad you took a moment to get to know me. I look forward to working with you in the future, and I'd be glad to help your family win against the government.